we don't do masala dosa and expect the whole of Kochi to eat it. We serve masala dosa to person who eats masala dosa. In the same way, എൻ്റെ ഫിലിമിൽ എപ്പോഴും ഒരു ഫ്ലോഡ് ഹീറോ, അത് റീസൺ എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ ഞാനും ഒരു ഫ്ലോഡ് ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ് ആണ്. Any kind and every kind of cinema should be put in front of the audience, and they should decide what they want and what they don't want. I think there cannot be anything without silence. I don't believe in dialogues, it's too noisy. Because we are in Instagram, you can put Triple R and Shetty brothers and all. It looks as if we haven't done anything.
We have with us a filmmaker who is not afraid to say any kind of stories. He says stories without filters, and he has redefined the way we see Kannada cinema and is now one of the faces of it. Let's welcome Raj B. Shetty. Welcome to Kochi, sir.
Thank you so much for that. Is English complete practice ചെയ്തോ നീ?
ഇല്ല, ഇതിപ്പോ അങ്ങനെ കയ്യിൽ
ഓ ഇങ്ങനെ വന്നോ? Okay, fine, thank you.
Okay, so when we see your stories, we always feel that they're very rooted in culture and it's very locally made. And what has inspired you to say those kind of stories in your movies?
എന്നെ വളരെ ഇൻസ്പയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഡയറക്ടറാണ് മാർട്ടിൻ സ്കോർസെസെ. അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ പടം ആദ്യത്തിൽ കാണുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് സ്പെഷ്യലി ടാക്സി ഡ്രൈവർ, അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ ആ സ്റ്റോറിയിൽ അമേരിക്കയുടെ ആ വിയറ്റ്നാം വാറിന്റെ ശേഷം അതിൻ്റെ സിറ്റുവേഷനും എല്ലാം അതിലുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അത് നമുക്കറിയാം, ഐ മീൻ വെൻ വി വാച്ച് ദ ഫിലിം വി ഡോണ്ട് ഫീൽ ദാറ്റ് ഓക്കെ ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഫിലിം അബൌട്ട് അമേരിക്ക. ഇറ്റ്സ് ബിക്കോസ് ഡിപ്രഷൻ ഈസ് യൂണിവേഴ്സൽ. പിന്നെ എൻ്റെ നാട്ടില് എൻ്റെ ഫ്രണ്ട് ഒരു പടം ചെയ്തു, അതിൻ്റെ പേര് പിന്നെ ഫ്രണ്ടായത് അതിന് ശേഷം. പക്ഷെ ആ പടത്തിന്റെ പേരാണ് ഉളിതവർ കണ്ടന്തെ. ആ ഉളിതവരെ കണ്ടന്തെ കാണുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് വളരെ കിക്ക് കിട്ടി. ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈം എൻ്റെ കൾച്ചറും പിന്നെ എൻ്റെ ലാംഗ്വേജും ഒരു ഫിലിം മേക്കർ ആക്യുറേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഡിസ്ക്രിപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു. ചില സമയത്തില് കുറേ പടങ്ങൾ ആ ലാംഗ്വേജിന്റെ ഒരു ഇൻസ്പിറേഷൻ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിലും അതിൽ ഒരു മോക്കറി ഉണ്ട്, ഒരു ചെറിയ മോക്കറി ഉണ്ടാവും. പക്ഷെ ഇതിൽ അങ്ങനെയല്ല, ഇത് ഒരു ആ ഭാഗത്തിന്റെ അതിന്റെ ഒരു ഒത്തന്റിസിറ്റി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി, ഐ തിങ്ക് ഐ ക്യാൻ ടെൽ മൈ സ്റ്റോറീസ് അബൌട്ട് മൈ കൾച്ചർ ഇൻ മൈ ഓൺ ലാംഗ്വേജ്. ഐ തിങ്ക് ദാറ്റ് ഹാഡ് എ ഡീപ്പ് ഇമ്പാക്ട് ഇൻ മീ. അതിനുശേഷം വേറെ വേറെ ബുക്സ് ഞാൻ വായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് അവിടെ കന്നഡയിൽ. കുവെമ്പു, പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ തേജസ്വി, പിന്നെ ശിവരാം കാരന്ത്. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെയും ബഷീർ സർ, അവരുടെ ഇത് അവരുടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്, അവരുടെ ലാംഗ്വേജ്, അവരുടെ പ്ലേസ്, അവരുടെ റീജൻ, അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഒത്തന്റിസിറ്റി അതിലുണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ ഇവരുടെ ഒരു ഇൻസ്പിറേഷൻ ആണ് ഐ തിങ്ക് ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ഡൂയിങ് ഫിലിംസ് വിച്ച് ഐ നോ.
So also that what we've seen before in Kannada movies was that always that action mass appeal, that kind of. So from there, this new wave of cinema, you can say, that I think has started with something that you have given a light to. I think
it will be too egoistic and prideful to say that we started it. We didn't started it. I mean, എന്നേക്കാൾ മുമ്പ് വലിയ ഡയറക്ടേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട് അവിടെ. പുട്ടണ കണകാൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഡയറക്ടേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, ശങ്കർ നാഗ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഡയറക്ടർ ഉണ്ട്, സിദ്ലിംഗയ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഡയറക്ടർ ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ അപ്പോ ഈ സബ് ടൈറ്റിൽ ഇല്ലേ, ഒരു ഡിജിറ്റൽ വേൾഡ് അല്ലേ. അപ്പോ അന്നത്തെ ടൈമിൽ ആക്ച്വലി കന്നഡ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി വാസ് ലോട്ട് ബെറ്റർ ദാൻ വാട്ട് വി ആർ ഡൂയിങ് നൗ. ലോട്ട് ബെറ്റർ. വി ആർ because we are in Instagram and you can put Triple R and Shetty brothers and all. It looks as if we haven't done anything. At least I haven't done anything.
But it's also a good thing that this new wave has started, and now there are more aspiring filmmakers. Avarkokke oru confidence aayirikkum to think outside the box and go to a more rooted culture.
Yeah, I think we will be very glad. എപ്പോഴും ഒരു സ്റ്റോറികളുടെ ഒരു വലിയ ഇതാണ് ഐ തിങ്ക് ടു ഹ്യൂമനൈസ് എവറിഥിങ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ വെൻ യു ഹ്യൂമനൈസ് എ പേഴ്സൺ സേയിങ് ദാറ്റ് യുവർ ഇൻസെക്യൂരിറ്റി അബൌട്ട് യുവർ റീജിയൻ, ലാംഗ്വേജ്, ദാറ്റ്സ് ഫൈൻ. യു ക്യാൻ ലീവ് ഇറ്റ്. ഇഫ് ആർ ഫിലിം ഡസ് ഇറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഒരു ആള് നോർത്ത് കർണാടകയുടെ ആള് അവന്റെ ലാംഗ്വേജിൽ, അവന്റെ ആക്സെന്റിൽ, അവന്റെ കൾച്ചറിൽ ഒരു പടം ചെയ്താൽ I'll be absolutely happy.
Yeah. And in your films, you've always portrayed a flawed hero. Like your hero is not someone who's like very real, larger than real, or just very glamorous person. You've always been somebody who has been very raw and real. Your portrayal has been very raw and real. And down in Malayalam, we've always had that kind of
Correct.
portrayal.
Correct.
Our hero has failed. Our films don't end with the cliched,
Correct.
everything gets well at the end. So that sort of thing, be it the Ondu Motte,
Ondu
Kathe,
Motte
yeah,
Kathe.
that movie, and the guy next door image that you've given to your heroes, was that a conscious decision? Do you think that our audience, the whole rest of India, even now in industries, there are industries that prioritize a lot of glamour. So do you think India as a whole, the audience is ready for that kind of a raw portrayal?
I think, see, we don't do masala dosa and expect the whole of Kochi to eat it. We serve masala dosa to person who eats masala dosa. In the same way, എൻ്റെ ഫിലിമിൽ എപ്പോഴും ഒരു ഫ്ലോഡ് ഹീറോ, അത് റീസൺ എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ ഞാനും ഒരു ഫ്ലോഡ് ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ് ആണ്. സോ ഒരു ഫ്ലോഡ് റൈറ്റർ ആണ്. സോ അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ ആ എഴുതിൽ അങ്ങനത്തെ ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സേ വരൂ. Because I know that, like, even though people think, okay, this person has achieved something, arrived, that is not true. I'm same dumbhead or same idiot that I know, and I write people who are like me. Even in Garuda Gamana Rishabhavana, he's a flawed hero. I
Yes,
think people think he's very aggressive. He's the weakest character in the entire film.
Yeah,
A person who shouts to prove his point is the weakest person. So I write it because I am flawed, and I don't want the whole world to accept it. And I don't have any problem with glamour. If somebody is absolutely handsome, and if it is his problem to be that handsome, that is not right.
yeah.
So I think any kind and every kind of cinema should be, like, put in front of the audience, and they should decide what they want and what they don't want. So we shouldn't cry that, okay, my flawed hero is not accepted by everyone. Why should they? So I don't believe in a perfect hero, because there cannot be anyone. But why does cinemas portray perfect human being? Because even they know we cannot achieve that in real. Only cinema can do that. At least that catharsis human being can have by watching that film. So I have told this already, but again I can repeat. Like, some films are mirror, they show yourself. Some films are like, window. They will make you forget and you look outside, that's all.
So now that there is a lot of discussion going on how films should influence society, or already that movies are influencing people, and there's a lot of discussion going on that filmmakers and artists should take responsibility for the kind of content that they're producing. Like, we have a lot of controversial movies glorifying violence. That kind of discussion is going on. Do you think that movies should represent the society as it is, or force a change in the society?
Do you believe in democracy or dictatorship?
Democracy.
Yeah. Then, like, who will decide how a person can do a film? Like, if I tell, this is the only kind of films and this is how film should be done, who is deciding it?
Yeah.
So I think people should have the chance. Ipo some cinemas actually, they actually portray a character which is super violent, and they use it as a style element. I think there is a censor, like, who can take a decision whether what certification they can give. And there are people who can tell that I don't want to see this violence. But if they see the violence, somebody will benefit and somebody will repeat it.
Yeah.
But there are people, I don't believe in this logic, but there are people who will tell that, like, showing violence on screen can have a catharsis to our audience. Otherwise, human beings or any animal's innate quality is to do violence.
Yeah, because there is this unspoken feeling among people that
Tension, yeah.
violence sells. So
Oh yeah.
why do you think that is a kind of a trope that has been going on?
You put a thumbnail, said that, like, Raj said something bad about Malayalam, and then put a thumbnail that, like, Raj said great things about Malayalam. Just see which has more views. Why?
Human psychology, probably.
Human psychology. So we crave for things that don't make us which make us uncomfortable. I don't know why, but yeah, we are flawed beings.
Yeah.
So there are flawed everybody. So I think it's fine. But the only thing is, yeah, they should have some moral responsibility, but it is not as if like, it is the rule. They should have. If they don't have, then like, it's for people to decide whether I want to watch his work or anything. Right?
Yeah.
They can decide.
Audience can
Yeah,
decide.
audience can decide. Audience is everything. Yeah.
So you've talked about your movies, Garuda Gamana, Vrishabhavahana, and in those movies, there is this importance that has been given to the sound or the silence. You've always had your movies have always had that element of silence or the sound, which is where a lot of importance and prominence is given to it. If you look at GGVB, the silence is very intense and it's sort of like menacing. But when you look at the Swati,
Muttinamale.
in that it's very calming and very very refreshing, sort of a different sort of a. So what is sound to you? Your work in collaboration with Mithun Mukundan has been very widely discussed.
Yeah.
So what is sound to you? How do you use this in your
I was a RJ for 3 years.
Yeah,
So sound and music is something like, I have always loved in cinema. And Midun is a genius when it comes to how much to use and how less to use. And because of his collaboration and because there is another team which needs to be, remembered, which is Sync Cinema. Sachin and Hari, they also, taught me a lot when it comes to sound space also. Because when I did Vandu Mottakatha, in the sound space, I didn't know that. But once I met them, I could understand, oh, this can be done. Then every script of mine actually was written in the sound space as well. I think there cannot be anything without silence. I don't believe in dialogues. It's too noisy.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love silence. I want people to, I want, it's a visual medium, right?
You want people to embrace the silence?
Yeah, embrace the silence. And Swati Muttinamalayan is absolutely silent. It was I think, 48-page script. Swati Muttinamalayani. I think people write short film of that length. And Garuda Gamana was 68 pages script.
Oh.
Normally a script is 120 pages.
Yeah.
So it was already there in the script that like, most of the time will be silence.
And in Malayalam, are there any filmmakers who have inspired you to, how you approach the realism, the sort of realism that you show in movies? Anybody in Malayalam, ആരെങ്കിലും അങ്ങനെ inspire ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ that sort of film?
Yeah, like every contemporary directors who are working now, they have inspired. It's not that like, oh, yesteryear, because see, I was exposed to Malayalam industry very, very recently.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was detached with cinemas for a very long time in my life. And after that, I started watching films again. In my childhood, I used to watch all the films, but I was living in another part of Karnataka where Malayalam cinemas are not available to watch. And then when I started living in Mangalore, I was disinterested in cinema. And then I started started doing cinema, or before started doing cinema, I started studying cinema. See, I love Dilish Potan and all his work. So we make sure that like, we all the team, we go to theater and watch these films, Angamali Diaries and Jallikattu or Churuli. So all the film that like Lijo has done and Anwar Rashid. So whatever he has done. So and we see most of this and whatever Shyam Puskaran has written. We used to watch, like, when we were watching that, like, it was mesmerizing. So it will be absolutely wrong to say I have seen that film and not inspired. I think anything good will inspire you. Yeah.
So if you wanted to collaborate with somebody in Malayalam, what kind of a genre or emotional landscape would you want to try out next?
See, the moment you started asking, collaboration, then like you want to know the genre. I don't think I decide that.
No, do you have any specific
I don't know.
idea that you want to do such a thing in Malayalam, or do you want to present yourself in a way to Malayalam audience?
No, I think it will be too biased that like, okay, Malayalis will watch a certain kind of cinema, I need to do certain kind of cinema. I think they are absolutely advanced audiences. Like, I have watched Echo very recently.
Yeah.
And the response that this industry gave to that film was so huge. And like, I had put a status about like, those two, director and the cinematographer and writer. So you are not anymore filmmakers, you are masters, because they engaged me completely. So I loved the film. I think I want to try something new with every film. It's not Malayalam. Just because I do in Kannada, I want to change the genre. I'm doing in Malayalam, I need to change something. I don't feel that. It should be honest, right? I need to tell a story, I need to tell a story. I don't know the genre or anything. And I believe that like if the film is good, they will accept.
So you said you were disinterested in movies and you had no connection to movies in the early stages of your life. What drew you to movies? How did this happen? How did this shift happen from somebody who was disinterested in movies? What was that one point that brought you into cinema?
I started working in advertisement. And then, like, when it is advertisement, then it changed to visual ads. First, I was a RJ, right? I was working in sound. And then there was my collaborator, his name is Praveen Shriyan. We started discussing, he started discussing cinema, and he started sharing, like, you have seen this classic, you have seen this classic. And I don't know what classic is. So then I started watching those films. Then I'm like, wow, okay, there are these kind of films too. So it was all classic Hollywood films,
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption, Silence of the Lambs, or which everybody, Pulp Fiction, or those kind of
Yeah.
films. So then I was like, oh, like I was disinterested because there was some problem with the quality that I couldn't, engage in the films around me. So that's why I was disinterested.
Okay.
When I saw there was so much to watch, then I was like a kid again. Oh, let's watch again. Then I
That's
started.
when you actually discovered what
Oh
movies
my
were.
God, okay. There are different languages, like different cinemas as well. Otherwise, you need to wait in your language. No,
Yeah, yeah.
only
Until
few films will come in a year. Now you have a whole Pandora box, like you can open anything.
anything you can want
Anything,
to
yeah,
watch, you can just get it. Yeah. So you've always had this in GGBM. We have seen that you've that dance by the character Shiva. It was very widely accepted by people, and even as a choreographer, you've worked in a lot of movies in Kantara and all you've seen. So what is that side of you that are you like a dancer in there? Is there a dancer in you like who wants to like express?
So I dance. That would be the better expression than like I'm a dancer, because I enjoy anything that is very physical, just any game or like dance and everything. But it is because it's a form of expression, right? Your body feels as if like it's so there is no rule or anything. And Kantara, like he gave the credit of choreographer because I knew that the EM portion, the steps, the culture, and everything. So he wanted me to help him execute it. So that's the reason, like, I went there. So he gave this thing of a choreographer. I knew the steps and movement and everything. I knew it. So Tiger dance, like, it's been the dance that we have seen all our childhood. And for me, it was more than a tiger dance. It was a Tandava, which actually Shiva doesn't express anything physically till then.
Yeah.
He will stab and stand still. Only there he moves. So it should be that intense for me. So I had to dance it for 1.5 day, I think. Yeah, yeah. You cannot dance tiger dance more than 30 seconds.
Oh, how did you
Yeah.
manage?
I was like, doing it and sitting and staring the ground, not speaking to anyone. Okay, then my cinematographer will tell that like, I'm ready. Okay, then I get up. Then they play again. Then again I sit. So
Got into the zone completely.
because I knew that like once I come out of the zone, I wouldn't be able to move. Also, my whole feet had blisters. Yeah, so I couldn't think about it. So that's the reason like I was in the zone.
As a filmmaker, what aspect of filmmaking do you feel that is very emotionally exhausting but also creatively very necessary?
I don't find anything very emotionally exhausting. I haven't found it emotionally exhausting. Promotion is
That is not as part of a filmmaker. That is part
yeah,
of
now
the
it has become yeah, you
yeah.
can't help, yeah, promotions. Other than that, nothing. Nothing.
Is
So,
that why you tried a different strategy for So From So? Because you didn't have any
yeah.
marketing strategy at all. Like no
No, I am a good
marketing.
marketer, bro. I have
That is the one post that you shared on social media asking, urging people to watch. There was no like
no.
pre-release
I
event.
see what happens is sometimes we sell too much.
Huh.
It is not genuine. And people are not. See, the only thing everybody is very well aware of is face.
Yeah.
They can see whether you are talking when you are telling a truth or you are lying. That you cannot teach. I mean, or you cannot cheat people. So when that happened, like, I saw, like, many celebrity shows, all people are telling great things about the film. I believe, and I go to the theater and it's nothing. I keep on getting disappointed. So, and then it comes to the reviewers, where, like, you see a review, you go to the film, it's absolutely a different film than the review. Then whom to believe? The only person I can believe is my cousin, who will watch and come out of the theater, and then I can come call him, what do you think? And he will tell, no brother, you don't go. That's all. There is no review. Or like, super, you go. That's all. That's a review.
Genuine opinion.
Genuine opinion. So I wanted to know whether, like, I can do that first rather than this. So I avoided this and said, like, I don't know who you are, but book the tickets and come. Whatever you say, that's the review. And you have the freedom to put it on your Facebook, Instagram, or anything.
Yeah.
So we think we have done whatever we need to do. It's an entertainer. So if you think it's an entertainer, please share it to people.
So that worked. That strategy
Definitely
actually
that
worked. So
Yeah.
do you think you will use that strategy again in your?
If it becomes a strategy, then it is not true, right? Then again, you are making it a promotional material.
Yeah.
So I think many of the films, see, finally the content should decide. When they watched Supram So, they were like, okay, nobody was, and in Kannada it was, even in here. So if it is film from new people, nobody will watch. That was the voice that was coming through. So I'm like, I was too tired of it. So I was like, okay, I will act in the film, but I will hide it. I will hide it absolutely. So it will be a new faces. It will be the new faces I will portray. So all the portrayal is of new faces, and when they came, I'm like, this bugger is also there. So that was
That was a surprise element.
Yeah.
Okay, and coming to 45. 45's trailer looks amazing. It's sort of like a blend between fantasy and reality
Correct.
on a large canvas. So what do you have to say that won't spoil the movie too much?
I think even though it's a pan-Indian film, it's not a pan-Indian ambition. Sometimes the film is more than a story; it becomes an ambition. I think this film has a story which needs to be conveyed, and for that, conveying of the story, the scale is required. Unfortunately, this story can be relatable to any Indian or like any person who is a living being. Like he can watch and he can relate something in the film. And that is why I'm too excited, and it doesn't come in a template. Even though in the earlier interview somebody asked me, there are so many blasts, is it a pan-Indian? I said it is not because of the blast, it's a pan-Indian film. It was needed for the story to flow.
I think somehow there is this association that the movie is, as the larger the canvas of the movie is, that makes it pan-Indian somehow.
Correct.
But that's not how it is, because as an audience, we've watched all kind of movies.
Correct.
Since OTT has happened.
Correct. So it's a very new kind of a film. So you have two big stars from Karnataka, and we celebrate them in the film. But even though we are celebrating them, it's not the celebration of the hero, but it's a celebration of the character, and that character deserves those kind of celebration. Yeah. So the director Arjun Janya has blended it so well, and I'm a common man, which is fun for me.
But how was it experience working with all the legends of the
Great.
industry?
Upendra sir, he had done a film called Ye, and I was 11-year-old. I was in Bhadravati, and I used to stare at the poster for half an hour. I'm like, wow. I couldn't understand, but still it's like, wow, what is this poster like? Because earlier the posters had a certain kind of a design. This was the title of the movie is A.
Yeah.
So when you watch a film and you watch a poster and there is a A, you won't watch it. But now, like in the title of the film itself is A. I'm like, and there was a caption, only an intelligent person should enter the theater. Oh. That was as if oh my God, it's too brave, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Who is he?
Such guts to.
And I watched the film and I was blown away. Like, there is no format, nothing. 5 or 10 minutes after the opening this thing, the end title card comes. End. The film has end. I'm like, what is this? And then there is a movie inside of the movie, and somebody is watching that movie. It was too weird, but
Oh.
too beautiful. And I was mesmerized by the film. And the same director had directed earlier to Dr. Shivraj Kumar. The name of the film was Om.
Oh.
So Om was a classic hit. It's been 30 years since the release of the film. So every gangster film that is coming after that, that you see, the influence is
Om.
those two men.
Okay. Both of them.
So they did it so well. So everybody started
Following in the
following it. Even till now, there are grandsons of that film
references.
who
Yeah.
doesn't even have the DNA of that film. Yeah. But even that film, I saw it in re-release. So even at the same certain age. So it had released earlier. So I saw the film. I was like, who are these people? Like, it was so great. And it was houseful. I think it has a world record, I think. 700 times re-release or something. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Every time the company wanted Dr. Shivraj Kumar's company itself produced the film. Every time they wanted something, they would re-release it, and it used to run for 50 days.
Wow.
And another theater re-release 50 days. Even now, if they re-release, it's
50 days.
that's.
So how did you feel interacting in working with
I
these
used to interview just like you. I used to ask them question like, how did you come up with this idea? See, there are many ideas that Upendra sir has broken. Like, how do you feel? Like, what do you call linear, non-linear? That is the term that we use now. But back then, in like
terminology was not
27, 27 years ago, so he makes a film, and he did the next film called Upendra. The director's name is Upendra. The title of the film is Upendra.
Upendra.
Like, somebody who doesn't know him might think that this is some man who is narcissist. That is not true. But look at the guts.
Yes.
When everybody is doing some love cinema and everything, he does a philosophical film, which no distributor could understand, but the whole of Karnataka understood. That's the beauty of audience, I think. Yeah. So, coming back to the question, I think they are great men. So that's the reason they produce and they do great work. So it was my pleasure and it was my fortune to be with them and ask them questions and to act in their film.
So as a filmmaker, has the successful reception of your movies, has it changed the way that you look at stories now? Because GGBM was just made in a 5 crore budget.
No, it was lesser.
Oh, okay, so lesser than that.
Yeah,
but then
1.8 or something.
Oh, so and it was a very big box office success. And now you have the agency to create big budget movies. So can we expect something like a KGF or a Bahubali from Rajvi Shetty?
But what is the necessity?
Just to show your filmmaking. Do you want to do a film like that, or a big budget on a big
What
scale?
if I don't know how to do the film like that?
So you'll have to try it.
No. It's trying a say, because everybody does something, that doesn't mean you need to follow it.
Yeah.
What happens is cinema is not a showcase to show your ego or anything. You will tell stories. See, after Garuda Gamana Rishabhavana, I made a film which is of a lesser budget. So everybody said, okay, this film is a hit. Now you need to do a gangster with a big star. I did Swati Muttina Malehaniya, which has no violence, nothing, and it's not even a commercial film. And I said in interviews to people that please don't come to theaters if you don't watch serious film. It's a very serious and slow film. That's what I said in the interview. But why did I do that? That's the only reason I did that was I can do that after a success. So I don't think success or failure, it should make you a better person, or it should make you a better filmmaker, rather than you thinking about the budget. If the budget is the only thing that decides the merit of a film, then I don't think we would have spoken today about Vidayan or Om.
Yeah.
Or any or Vadakan Veeragatha, right?
Vadakan Veeragatha.
Yeah. So we wouldn't have spoken about it. The only reason we speak about is there is not something more than the budget. There is a story. There is a freshness. I think we should strive for that. Whatever you said, that's the regular way of thinking. That is the reason you see, many filmmakers will become outdated in 5 years. I might be that as well. I'm not out of it. I become that. So I need to be very, very careful that I choose stories rather than like, scale. Let them run, no. Let them see. Rajamouli sir, he has a great vision. He's a fantastic filmmaker. Let him do what he's the best at. Prashant Neel is a fabulous filmmaker. Let him do what is best at. What if, like, the whole of the jungle needs only tiger? So I'm a squirrel. I'm happy in my life.
Is there a story that you have wanted to do but then later abandoned because of any kind of reason?
Yeah. There was a story which I had to do, which was a thriller, and I had told it to my friend. So I had to abandon it because of several reasons, which I cannot state. But yeah, that is
Would you think about going back and
I would do that film if it is necessity. If I don't have any story in the future, I have a story right now in the mind, like which
I was coming to that. What is the next kind of story that you want to?
I want to do a thriller, which I haven't explored till now.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to do a thriller. So yeah. So when I did gangster film, I didn't know how to do the gangster, right?
But then audience reception said something else. We've always, I think we've always awaited your movies, and whatever you do, there is a sort of there is a certain connection that the audience feels. So I think thriller would also be a very well received.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's the truth. I haven't done it till now. So I need to research and search and explore whether I'll be able to do it. I have a decent script now, so I need to complete it. Another 20 pages, I'll be okay with it. Because of this promotion, shoot, I am not able to do it. But I'll do someday, and definitely I'll
So we can expect a thriller in the near future from you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great to know. And how has your friendship with Mammootty? We've done Turbo together. In that movie, the interactions, all the Malayali audience, കേരളത്തിലുള്ള എല്ലാവരും they very they received our camaraderie and the sort of the interaction that you had on screen. How is your friendship with him off screen now that he's taken a break and he's come back? Now,
Yeah. Like, even now, my friend Ashik told me that, like, can we go and meet? I said, like, if we find a little time also, we'll go and meet. It's more than a friendship. I think I want to be his fan. Yeah. The thing is, see, when you become a friend, I can't envision that.
Being friends with Mammootty?
Yeah, I can't envision that.
Why not?
The reason is, I want to see him always, like,
A fanboy sort of
their work.
Admiration.
The admiration should be there because, see, their greatness, right? It's not that, like, I have never taken his number.
Oh.
Yeah, DQ's number I have. Mammootty sir's number I don't have.
Okay.
Because I can't imagine, like, me wishing him good morning, sir, and I get a reply from him.
He just might. He usually
He
does
will.
that,
He will.
He will.
I can't imagine that. I want to have him to have a space so that, like, I have a great sadness that, like, I couldn't watch Kalankau because I was in 11 days of night shoot. Then they took me here. So I am dying to watch that film. Like, even today, if I find a little time, even, like, if they let me, I'd go and watch. Because, see, now, if he's not my friend, he's the great Mammootty, the way I watch would be more intense. I don't want to lose any of these great actors, by reducing them to my friendship. I want them to be, definitely.
That's very interesting thought process there. So, how is this that you find the whole process, the acting, the filmmaking, the writing, which is the one that you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing the most from all of this?
I don't even have a doubt. It's direction always.
Direction always.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Like, nothing comes closer
to filmmaking.
Yeah.
The process of creating a movie.
You might write a character like Joker, but directing a small film is much more happier space for me.
So I'm very, very thankful that you gave us this time. This is for 24 International and for Flowers.